Our story begins with a lonely, ugly, disgusting Discord mod called Takuma Sakamoto. He is a major gamer and shut-in, always playing as Diablo in his favorite MMORPG game. During gameplay, he encounters a couple and, staying in character, punishes them for bringing love into the game world. Suddenly, Takuma finds himself summoned to another world, taking on the physical form of his character, Diablo. He's confused and disoriented, realizing he's no longer in his room but in a strange new world. He notices two girls, a Pantherian named Rem and an elf named Shera, who seem to have summoned him. Takuma, struggling with social anxiety and unfamiliar with real-life interactions, decides to continue acting as Diablo. He commands Rem and Shera to stop arguing, but his lack of social skills makes the situation awkward. The girls reveal they used an enslavement ritual, intending to make Diablo their servant.
You got me.
However, due to Diablo's magic ring, which reflects all magic, the spell backfires, and they end up as his servants instead. The trio decides to head to the city to find a way to dispel the spell. In the city, they check into the Peace of Mind Inn, where they meet May, the innkeeper. Kuma's social awkwardness continues to be a challenge as he struggles to interact with others. Rem and Shera argue over who gets to share a room with Diablo, highlighting their rivalry. Celestine Baudelaire, head of the Mages Association, arrives at the inn. She's an important character who maintains the magical barrier protecting the town. She discusses the situation with Rem, hinting at a deeper story. Takuma, still in character as Diablo, tries to uncover Rem's secret. He believes it's key to progressing in the game. Rem is reluctant to share, fearing abandonment. Diablo assures her he will accept her regardless of her secret. Rem reveals she harbors the soul of the demon Lord Krebskulm inside her. Her ultimate goal is to find a way to defeat Krebskulm while it's within her. Diablo realizes the gravity of the situation and vows to help her. Randomly, Diablo and an NPC named Gallic get into a skirmish. Diablo demonstrates his immense power by easily defeating a summoned salamander, proving his strength is not just in the game but also in this new world. Waking up, still in disbelief about his situation, he finds himself in an awkward and embarrassing moment with Shera and Rem in bed, leading to a comedic misunderstanding. As they venture into the city, Diablo notes the absence of humans and the presence of various fantasy races. They decide to register at the Adventurers Guild, where Diablo's immense power causes a stir. Shera and Rem also register, but Shera's level is humorously low compared to Diablo's unknown but clearly high level. At the guild, they accept a quest from the Mages Association to defeat a Madara snake in the man-eating woods and retrieve its eyeballs. Diablo is intrigued by the involvement of the Mages Association, suspecting a connection to Celestine Baudelaire. On their way to the woods, Diablo is puzzled by the lack of teleportation portals, a common feature in the game but apparently unknown in this world. The trio hikes to the woods, discussing the dangers and the nature of the quest. In the woods, they encounter a group of elves led by Seltzer, who claims to have come to rescue Shera, believing her to be enslaved. Shera vehemently denies this, expressing her desire for independence and refusal to return to her royal family. A confrontation ensues between Diablo and the elves. Diablo easily overpowers them, showcasing his immense magical abilities. The elves are surprised by his strength, and the situation escalates when they mistake him for a slave trader. The misunderstanding is cleared up, and Shera sends a message back to her family through the elves, declaring her independence and her intention to stay with Diablo and Rem. Moving forward, Diablo and Shera are being tasked with a seemingly simple quest from the Mages Association, personally handed to them by Celestine Baudelaire. Rem decides to sit this one out, suspecting that the high reward might come with hidden expectations. As Diablo and Shera prepare for their quest, they encounter Emil Bichelberger,
Oh my god, bro.
a self-proclaimed defender of women
And
and the strongest warrior in the Adventurers Guild. Emil challenges Diablo, believing he has enslaved Shera and Remington. The confrontation reveals Emil's lack of skill compared to Diablo, who easily overpowers him. Shera clarifies to Emil that they are not enslaved, but magically impaired due to a failed ritual, and Diablo is helping them. The quest involves delivering wine to the Bridge of Luck, a location known from the game as a fortress against monsters from the man-eating woods. Along the way, Shera suggests they have some fun by triggering an invasion, a game mechanic where higher-level monsters appear during a lower-level quest. Diablo dismisses the idea, emphasizing the real danger they would face. Upon reaching the bridge, they learn that an army of over 100 fallen is approaching. Diablo realizes the severity of the situation, knowing that the people in this world, with their lower levels and weaker skills, stand little chance against such a force. Despite the danger, the guards at the bridge decide to stand their ground to buy time for others to flee to safety. Diablo, moved by their bravery and a moment of concern shown by Shera, decides to intervene. He confronts the fallen, displaying his immense power and declaring himself the only demon lord. Meanwhile, back in the city, Celestine discusses with Rem the possibility that Diablo might be a fallen drawn to the soul of the demon lord Krebskulm, which is housed within Rem. Rem defends Diablo, asserting his intentions to help her. The city is under threat as Gregor, the leader of the fallen, breaches Celestine Baudelaire's barrier. Celestine is targeted by the fallen, but Rem steps in to protect her. Meanwhile, Diablo faces Edelgard, the strongest lancer of the fallen, on the bridge of Ulig. In the city, Emil Bichelberger, the self-proclaimed defender of women, engages in a futile attempt to protect Celestine and Rem from the fallen. Despite his bravado, Emil is no match for the fallen's power. Diablo, realizing the gravity of the situation and that Rem is in danger, decides to end the battle with Edelgard quickly using his grand magic. Diablo successfully defeats Edelgard and uses return magic to instantly transport himself and Shera back to the city. Upon arrival, they find Celestine and Rem under attack by Gregor. Diablo intervenes, showcasing his immense power and magical prowess. He effortlessly reflects Gregor's attacks and ultimately defeats him, sealing his soul in a dimension of darkness. After the battle, the city mourns the loss of those who died in the attack. Diablo reflects on the harsh reality of this world compared to the game, noting the finality of death and the resilience of the people. Sylvie comes and informs Diablo that the elves are demanding Shera's return and threatening war if their demands are not met. Lieutenant General Chester Ray Galford proposes a quest to prevent the war, and Diablo reluctantly agrees to help. Diablo, Shera, and Rem discuss the ultimatum from the Elven Kingdom demanding Shera's return. If Shera is not handed over within 10 days, war will break out. Diablo is determined to find a way to prevent the war and protect Shera, who now has a significant bounty on her head, making her a target for bounty hunters. Diablo, asserting his ownership over Shera, vows to protect her from any threats. Alicia Christella, an Imperial Knight, is introduced and offers her assistance in the matter. Diablo and the group then prepare for potential conflict by visiting a weaponsmith. Diablo chooses a new weapon that appears formidable but is actually less lethal, as he doesn't want to accidentally kill anyone in front of Alicia. While in the city, Shera is targeted by bounty hunters due to the bounty on her head. Diablo intervenes and defeats the bounty hunters, but Shera is briefly kidnapped. Emil Bichelberger, who has been following Shera's scent, rescues her from the kidnappers. Alicia feels responsible for Shera's kidnapping and offers to do anything to make it up to Diablo. Diablo, however, dismisses her guilt and tells her to forgive herself for being useless to him. He allows her to continue accompanying them but asks her to stop insisting on producing results. The next day, the group discussed the possibility of removing the enslavement collars. They learn of a slave caravan in the central plaza, which might hold clues to removing the collars due to the similar magic level. Diablo decides to visit the caravan, hoping to find a solution. At the slave market, they meet Medios, the owner, who offers to help with the collars. Medios notes the powerful flow of magic in Diablo and Rem, and she makes a startling observation about Rem, suggesting she might be carrying a demon child. This leads to a misunderstanding among the group, but Medios clarifies that she senses fallen energy within Rem. Medios agrees to attempt to remove the collars but asks to do so with as few people present as possible. Diablo and Shera stay, while the others wait outside. Medios teaches Diablo how to see the flow of magic in Shera and guides him to try and control it. The process is intimate and uncomfortable for Diablo, who struggles with the physical contact required. The attempt to remove the collar is intense and exhausting for Diablo, and he is unable to complete the process. He learns that unraveling the magic of the collar is complex and draining, likening it to navigating a room filled with tangled yarn and smoke. Later, Shera's brother, Prince Kira Ella Greenwood, arrives, surprising everyone. He apologizes for the misunderstanding regarding the bounty and expresses his relief that Shera is safe. Kira claims he has no desire for war and only wants Shera's happiness. Diablo is skeptical of Kira's intentions but allows Shera to decide her own fate. Shera, reflecting on her homeland and her desires for the future, expresses her wish to open a cafe and live a life of her choosing. She considers Diablo and Rem as her new family and wants them to be part of her future. Rem, however, is hesitant due to her own unresolved issues. Shera playfully reenacts the magic transfer process with Rem, much to Rem's discomfort. Meanwhile, Kira looks forward to Shera's decision, hoping she will return with him and bear his child, revealing his true intentions. The scene shifts to Diablo waking up from a dream, finding himself in a compromising position with Shera and Remington. He quickly leaves to inform Sylvie and Celeste about the events involving Prince Shera. Meanwhile, Diablo decides to prepare potions for the group, demonstrating his skills as a master combiner. Shera is fascinated by Diablo's potion-making abilities, but he is distracted by her physical appearance, leading to some awkward interactions. As Diablo continues making potions, Shera expresses her admiration for his talents and his rare smile, which she finds endearing. Diablo reflects on his lack of social interactions in this world and his desire to be more confident without relying on his demon lord persona. Shera then reveals to Diablo that she has decided to return to the kingdom of Greenwood, leaving Diablo and Rem stunned and confused. Prince Shera arrives to escort Shera back home, claiming he will respect her decision and has no desire for war. After Shera leaves with Shera, Diablo is left in a state of shock and disbelief. Rem, suspecting that Shera's decision was influenced by Shera's flute, which she believes has brainwashing powers, decides to go after Shera. Alicia Christella, the Imperial Knight, offers to accompany Rem, putting her duty to protect people above her status. Panning to Shera being held captive by Prince Shera, who reveals his true intentions. He uses a flute imbued with a spell to control Shera's thoughts and plans to impregnate her. Shera resists, but Shera is determined to have his way. Diablo, Rem, and Alicia arrive at Shera's camp to rescue Shera. Diablo confronts Shera and uses his authority as the owner of Shera's enslavement collar to command her to express her true feelings. Shera declares her desire to be free and to stay with Diablo and Rem. Shera, enraged by the turn of events, summons a powerful Hydra, threatening to destroy everyone. Diablo prepares to face the Hydra, determined to protect his friends and bring Shera to justice. Despite its formidable strength and regeneration abilities, Diablo is intrigued and determined to defeat it. As the battle ensues, Diablo realizes that the Hydra possesses multiple elemental attacks, unlike the summons in the game Cross Reverie. He discovers that the Hydra has a core that holds all its power, but the core continuously moves within its body, making it difficult to target. During the fight, he manages to find and target the core, ultimately defeating the Hydra and proving his strength as a demon lord. After the battle, Diablo confronts Prince Shera, who had been using a flute to control Shera. The situation escalates when Lord Galford arrives and declares war, intending to seize Greenwood. Diablo and Galford engage in a tense confrontation, showcasing their powers. Diablo manages to unravel Galford's barrier spell, but Galford's martial arts skills and strategic thinking challenge Diablo. In the end, Diablo spares Galford's life, warning him not to cross paths again. Galford withdraws his troops, and peace is temporarily restored. Shera is visibly upset over the conflict with her brother and the loss of a part of her family. After, Diablo recovers from the intense battle and dealing with financial troubles. Sylvie brings him a special spirit that can recover magic points, and they share a drink. Diablo, not used to alcohol, becomes inebriated and falls asleep. Alicia Christella, an Imperial Knight, returns to the city and reunites with her colleagues, discussing recent events and the prophecy of the Demon Lord's revival. Meanwhile, Diablo, Shera, and Rem practice summoning, with Shera successfully performing an enslavement ritual on a summoned creature. Diablo gives Shera a magic stone necessary for the ritual, which wasn't present in the game Cross Reverie. The group then experiments with Shera's new summon, discovering its unique ability, Synchro Sight, which allows Shera to see through the summon's eyes. This ability proves useful for targeting enemies out of sight. The scene shifts to a communal bath, where the characters engage in playful banter. During this time, Rem is approached by Eldegard, a character from the fallen race. Eldegard reveals that she can sense the soul of the demon Lord Krebscum within Rem, confirming a significant plot point. Rem admits to harboring the soul of Krebscum, and Eldegard offers to teach them a ritual to revive the demon lord without harming Remington. Diablo agrees to perform the ritual, intending to defeat Krebscum once revived. Later, Alicia warns Diablo and the others about a powerful paladin named Sadler who is in town. Sadler is known for his brutal methods against those suspected of demon lord worship. A tense encounter ensues, during which Sadler uses his powers to attack Remington. Diablo intervenes, using his magic reflection ability to counter Sadler's spells. After the confrontation, Rem expresses her desire to trust Alicia with the truth about Krebscum. Despite Diablo's reservations, Rem confides in Alicia, who offers her support and friendship. Diablo, Rem, and Eldegard, a member of the Fallen, are preparing for the ritual to extract the demon lord Krebskull's soul from Rem. With Alicia tagging along on this ritual with everyone, the ritual commences, and Diablo is instructed to pour his magical power into Rem's soul to trigger the resurrection of Krebskull. despite the awkward and uncomfortable nature of the ritual, Diablo proceeds, driven by his promise to save Rem. As the ritual progresses, Diablo successfully reaches the soul of Krebskull. However, the Demon Lord's resurrection is not as straightforward as expected. Krebskull appears to have lost some of her memories and shows an unusual obsession with cookies, a stark contrast to her expected malevolent nature. Meanwhile, Ulurek, a powerful and ancient member of the Fallen, arrives to celebrate Krebskull's resurrection. He offers to sacrifice the lives of the mortals present as a tribute, but Krebskull, surprisingly, rejects the idea, prioritizing her desire for cookies. Ulurek becomes frustrated with Krebskull's incomplete resurrection and decides to take matters into his own hands. He attacks, intending to kill Krebskull and complete the resurrection properly. Diablo intervenes, and a battle ensues. During the fight, Diablo demonstrates his formidable power, including his ability to reflect magic. Ulurek is surprised by Diablo's strength and retreats, acknowledging Diablo as a true demon lord. After the confrontation, the group decides to return to the city, with Krebskull expressing a desire to eat more cookies. They agree to refer to Krebskull as Cliv to avoid attracting unwanted attention. Back in the city, Diablo's magic points are fully recharged, thanks to Krebskull's unique ability. Clem's obsession with cookies continues, showing a stark contrast to her expected demonic nature. Meanwhile, Alicia, an Imperial Knight, is revealed to have darker intentions. She secretly desires the complete resurrection of the Demon Lord to wipe out all mortal races. Diablo, unaware of Alicia's betrayal, is informed by a friend that Rem has been taken by a paladin. He sets out to rescue her, armed with the knowledge that Sadler is a formidable opponent. In the church, Sadler begins Rem, believing her to be a demon lord worshipper. Rem resists, staying true to her promise to Clem not to let her demonic nature take over. Clem, witnessing Rem's suffering, struggles with her promise to Rem not to harm mortals. However, when Sadler threatens Rem's life, Clem's demonic instincts awaken, and she transforms into her true demon lord form. Clem unleashes her demonic powers, causing destruction and chaos. Diablo arrives just in time to witness Clem's transformation and prepares to confront her. Diablo is determined to save both Rem and Clem, despite the overwhelming odds against him. He faces the challenge head-on, showcasing his resolve as a demon lord from another world. Meanwhile, Diablo is in a tough situation, fighting Clem, who has lost her sense of reason. He struggles to subdue her without causing harm to the city. Diablo realizes he must restrain his powerful spells to avoid damaging the city's outer walls and barrier tower. Rem, who was previously captured and tortured by Sadler, is found by Shera. Shera uses the potions given by Diablo to heal Remington. Rem reveals Alicia's betrayal and her plan to fully resurrect the Demon Lord to destroy the mortal races. Diablo continues his battle with Clem, trying to awaken her memories and bring her back to her senses. He uses his magic strategically, considering the proximity of the city and the need to protect it. In a dramatic turn of events, Clem regains her senses, thanks to Diablo's efforts and the emotional appeal from Shera and Remington. Clem's transformation back into her original form signifies the end of the immediate threat to the city. Alicia's backstory explains her disillusionment with humanity and her decision to become a demon lord worshipper. Diablo confronts Alicia, offering her a chance to live her life for herself, free from the expectations and manipulations of others. In the end, Diablo, Rem, Shera, and Clem reflect on their experiences and the bonds they've formed. Diablo asserts his independence and refuses to play into the girl's demands, declaring his freedom to do as he pleases as a demon lord. Please click the like button and comment the most outrageous moment. Thanks, see you in the next episode.